This is me doing my first ever completely virtual concert. Hi, I'm Woody. I'm a normal guy. I do normal guy stuff, except today. 3 weeks ago, I decided that I would do a little concert for my stream. Now, I am an Unreal Engine developer. I thought this would be really easy. You know, for the last 3 years, I've been experimenting to see how far I can push the boundaries of 3D avatars, game engines, and motion capture to be able to create really cool streaming experiences. But what I didn't know is that this project would be one of the most difficult, hard to code, and possibly one of the most personally embarrassing projects that I'd ever make. From planning out the virtual stage visuals, learning how to sing and perform live, to writing an algorithm that can figure out how to play a piano based on MIDI input. And little did I know that I would receive some of the best life advice I've ever had from a talking banana. That's real. I know this seems like a really silly thing to say, but that's real. It's 100% real. Talking banana, I promise I'll pay that off. Let's talk VTubers. Yeah, you know them. A VTuber is anyone who uses an avatar to stream or, well, make videos like the one you're watching right now. I'm a VTuber. This is me being a VTuber. Well, actually, kinda. You see, in some sense, I'm not a VTuber, not in the traditional sense. You see, most VTubers are anime styled. They're anime styled boys and girls that also have a little bit of a pop star sensibility. The whole VTuber shindig started in Japan, where large companies like Cover Corporation started signing contracts with virtual talent. It's actually a little bit kind of like being in a J-pop group, as much as it's also kind of like being a real-life anime waifu. And they have virtual concerts. You see where I'm going with this? Story time. Now, back in July, I had a chance to watch the first English concert from Hololive. It was a really cool event. I got to watch really talented 3D ladies do some really crazy song and dance routines. You have a cute anime girl, she's on a stage, she's singing, they've done a motion capture performance. But little old me, I could not just sit back and enjoy this. No, I was consumed by one single thought, which is, yeah, I could do that. I could do that. I could totally do that. I'm not knocking it. If you love anime stuff, this shit is amazing. But what if we could push it further? Create wild stage visuals, add live music. We could create real VTuber instruments that represent what's being played in real life. And what if there was a talking banana? With that said, the spark was lit. I had to become a virtual pop star. So I spent $4.3 million, constructed a state-of-the-art facility, and built a crew of 200 people to help me ascend to digital superstardom over the course of 4 months. No, not really. No, I had like 2 weeks and a YouTuber budget. But I did have a good motion capture solution. Sony makes Mocopy. They're actually the sponsor of this video. It's this really cool pocket-sized mocap system that works on your phone. It can track all your body movement and record videos or send data straight to the computer. Really helpful if you're gonna do a concert. I've been using these little guys for everything. They're surprisingly dynamic in the small little form factor they come in. However, I'm gonna guess that no one has ever tried to do an entire concert with these little guys, but here we are. You could do that. I found out you can do that. But you can't just press a button and make a concert. You need people, amazing guest artists who can join you, and a talking banana. You also need to understand how the technology works a little bit. Here's TFMjonny. He's a superstar VTuber in his own right. This is the person you want to talk to if you want to understand what the landscape is if you're going to DIY a VTuber concert. He makes content in VR chat and has done numerous music videos and concerts. What would you say to someone who's trying to make a virtual concert just from the get-go? Like
somebody, I would say my consulting services are, I haven't decided on a price yet, but let's talk.
I got the invoice from this. The Wolf Boy fleeced me for $1,600.
There's a lot of problems throughout the years that I had to solve as a virtual music performer. From what I've seen in talking to other virtual musicians, everybody's kind of solved those problems in their own unique way that fits, you know, their performance style, what instruments they're playing, what equipment they have access to. So I've seen everything from, you know, full-on mocap to, you know, just, hey, I strapped a Quest to myself, you know, and I'm playing an instrument, you know. So it's just a wide array right now. What do you have? What do you want to achieve? And then you just build it out from there, which is why that's not a simple question to answer.
I started with this stage pack I got from a company in the asset store. I highly modified it to create not only the default scene here, but build an environment and a virtual audience. All right, here's a problem, guys. I don't sing. I don't really play instruments. I played drums growing up, but everyone always bullies the drummers and tells them that they're not real musicians anyways, which might even be true, I don't know. How are you supposed to pull off a VTuber concert if you can't do the one thing, which is to play... All right, so this is where the talking banana comes in. My buddy Bananiel is a VTuber banana. He's also a vocalist and an opera singer, which is probably more germane to this video.
The journey to virtual pop stardom is able to be achieved by anybody if enough hard work and effort is put into it.
Okay, that's great, cool. So you have extensive experience. How do I do this? How do you vocal cord? How do you...
Okay, so we want to start at the beginning. The most important thing you need to get technique-wise down for singing is support. You're supposed to sing from your gut. If I'm singing from my throat, yeah, it sounds okay. When I'm singing from my gut, it comes out bigger, louder, and stronger.
Is it helpful if I sing now? You should tell me if I actually am a tone-deaf piece of work, right?
I mean, yeah, can you hit that? You're not tone deaf, that's good.
No one's supposed to look directly into my mouth. You're like my dentist right now, except the sound has to come out.
I am the sound dentist.
You gotta also know that I'm gonna be doing so much technical stuff at the same time while this is happening. You know, I'm gonna be triggering things. I might be playing instruments.
If you're having a tough time, perform it with passion. I would rather listen to the most horrible singer in the world sing a song passionately than the greatest singer in the world sing a song with no emotion or passion in it.
Just like, go for it, bud.
Yeah, go for it. And if you fail, you know, it's like riding a bike. Oh, I fell off. And get back on. You'll figure it out eventually.
That's it. If you're gonna commit to something, you gotta commit to something. It's really, really good advice. I had to find a song. I decided to go with Lionhearted by Porter Robinson. It's an earnest song that I felt like I could really try and belt out. And I wanted to heed the banana's words. I wanted to really go for it. The Mokopi's super cool. It's an inertial motion capture system. There are a lot of inertial systems out there, and the Mokopi's results are really good and at a fraction of the cost of most of them. It also doesn't have any monthly subscription costs. The Mokopi is also a body tracking solution, which means figuring out the fingers is another story. We do want motion capture for our performance, but for the details like fingers, we want to use the signal of the instruments themselves. Which means it's time for MIDI. You guys know MIDI, right? It's the funky little computer signal that digital instruments make. We've been using it since the 90s. Maybe longer. Hold on, let me look that up. It was actually the 80s. We've been using it since the 80s. You might use it with something like Ableton to send piano data to a synthesizer. However, did you know that you can use MIDI in Unreal Engine? The MIDI can tell the computer what note was struck, as well as how hard it was struck, and also when we stop playing it. MIDI. Armed with the power of motion capture and MIDI, I can combine the two for real-time instruments to create an IK system that will move my hands to the correct place and play the correct notes on the piano. In this scenario, the Mokopi makes up the core of our body. We use it for all the head rotation, all the spine rotation, basically all the core movement. But then we use an IK system with the MIDI in order to make the hands go where they need to go. And of course, we'll need a separate iPhone that we use for facial data capture from an infrared camera. Now keep in mind, this is just for my little experimentation to try and sync up with the instruments. Whenever I'm live, or whenever I'm singing, or when anyone else is singing on stage, we're gonna just use the Mokopi, which should look better because the entire body is being controlled by the same system. Here's a little work in progress that I got working with the fingers. The fingers are crazy hard to nail. You see, the computer doesn't know by default what finger to pick to play a note. The way the algorithm works is to find the closest finger to the note that's being played on each hand. And if the finger's free, use it. However, while that finger's in use, if you need to play another note right next to it, the algorithm will figure out the new note is lower or higher than the previous one, and then use the finger that's left or right of the current one that matches the low note or the high note. Oh, and I got drums working too. I can use MIDI to make sure the correct drum gets hit every single time and the motion matches by using a little bit of procedural animation. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, a huge chunk of time went into getting MIDI instruments working. This is probably the part that almost killed me. You can never truly be sure if a video is pre-animated. I ended up using a mix of both for our show. I decided that I wanted to be live whenever my avatar was on stage, and it was totally cool for other folks, if they're gonna be in the show, to be pre-recorded, because I brought in some amazing guests. I stacked the deck a little bit more too. I had my friend Sydney drop by. Sydney is a super talented software engineer and visualization coder. I don't even know what to explain. He has so many magical tools. I had him run all of my virtual screens in the scene, which were also made more awesome by some killer animations from my friend Fruitsy Collins, who I commissioned to help with the backgrounds. After 2 weeks of slugging it out, making virtual instruments, and planning the stage content, it was finally time to face the crowd.
Alright guys, I've been making these kinds of videos, and I've been making quite a few of them. And I gotta say, your feedback really means a ton to me. These are your YouTube comments. That's right, I put all of your comments into a physics simulation. And next time we do one of these, I'm going to fire them at myself from a cannon. Comment below to see me blown to smithereens. Hello. Hi. I'm Woody, aka Woody Devs. Many of you know me. I am your Unreal Virtual VTuber developer guy, but tonight I am coming out with you with a wild new set of technologies. Tonight is about exploration and fun and celebrating all the wonderful people who have come together to be able to make this experience happen.
I started the show by showing off some of my virtual instruments.
That's feeling good. I've never done this without, like, in front of anyone, either with or without CG. So this is a little like, this is a little terrifying.
Hello! I'm TFMjonny, the stinky anime wolf boy. Thank you so much for having me. This song is Savannah. I hope you love it. Lions rolling in the morning sun, searching for a longer day, yeah. Savannah, I'm coming home, Savannah. Never be alone, Savannah.
We were able to get Johnny into the scene using the Mokopi as well. Johnny also has a Mokopi. He recorded his voice and face data and then recorded a body sync over it using what he had just recorded with his voice as a reference. Our next guest, she is no one else but the Great Pumpkin Potion. Take it away, Pumpkin.
I never believed that there was a rainbow with a pot of gold at the end. Tell me lies, tell me lies, and I just keep right on coming. This time I've got to believe in his dream.
Pumpkin absolutely brought the house down. Will you please help me in giving a warm welcome to my teacher, the Bananial?
Ding-a-ling-ling-ling-ling. Oop-a-loop-a-loop. Oop-a-loop-a-loop. Ring, 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 ring. Banana phone. Ring, 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 ring. Banana phone. I've got this feeling, it's so appealing for us to get together and sing, sing. Boop-boop-a-doop-a-doop-doop.
Everybody give it up for Bananial! You're probably wondering what happened to my song. It was sort of the emotional crux of this video.
I started the song and I completely choked. I forgot all the words. So I kind of turned out okay. I just kind of had fun and I vibed out on stage. People in the chat seemed to have a good time anyways. In the midst of the show, it became so hard to both run the set and make sure everything was working, but then also be able to sing. You may feel like I didn't commit, like I didn't really belt one out and go all in. But, however, I want you to know that's not entirely true. You see, the next day after I finished the show, I hopped on a plane to Camp MoGraph. It's this amazing camp for digital animators and artists, and it's just a weekend of fun. And they have karaoke.
Yes, I'm terrified. Let's do this. I've never done this before. This is my first time.
And yeah, I went pretty hard. Now, I'm incredibly proud of this project. It turned out so well, especially given the time and the little bit of resources that we had to make this happen.
Well, looking back on the performance and seeing it all come together, I thought it was very eye-catching. It's certainly something I have never seen done before in the VTuber space to that caliber, to that level.
Thanks again to Sony. I've been having a ball with these little Mocopies, fitting them into absolutely every kind of crazy workflow, including doing this concert. A huge thank you to everyone who helped make this possible. Thanks to Pumpkin Potion, TFMjonny, and the Bananial for being in the show. Thanks to Sydney and Fruitsy for making the visuals so good. And thanks to some of my buddies behind the scenes like NVR and Sally Coleman, who helped listen to all of my crazy ideas and advise on my best path forward with making this happen. So a comment is stuck in my neck now. That happened.